We are in Jerusalem. Welcome to the city of the great King, city of David, and the future capital of the new world. You'll see behind me what is known as the Dome of the Rock. That's Temple Mount. That's where the temple, Solomon's temple, and the second temple, Herod's temple, as it came to be known. And you see the old ancient city walls in front of it. We're actually shooting from the Mount of Olives. Welcome to Jerusalem. I'm shooting here from the village of Capernaum, right on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, the home base, the home ministry base for Jesus and his disciples. We're introduced to Capernaum early in the Gospels as Jesus basically makes this the ministry center. It's the place where Peter's mother-in-law lived. Peter relocated here, and this became the ministry center for Jesus. It's the spot where he would call Levi or Matthew to become his disciple. It's the spot of many miracles in the Gospels. In fact, right here along the stretch that I'm standing, it's reasonable to think that this is the spot where Jairus would have lived immediately behind the synagogue, and where he would have come, Jesus would have come to heal Jairus' daughter. Also the place where the woman who had the issue of bleeding for 12 years, where she would have grabbed onto the hem of Jesus' garment, and where she would have been healed, where Jesus would have said, "Your faith has made you well." So just beautiful things happening immediately right here. As we're shooting, this is day 4 of our trip. We're going to take you to several of the locations with us in this introduction to our sermon. But Capernaum is one of these. We've already experienced Nazareth, where Jesus has grown up. We've already experienced Caesarea Maritime, which is where Paul was held, Roman imprisonment for 3 years, where many of his prison letters were written. So we've experienced a lot already. In fact, let me tell you about several of the others. We've been to Mount Carmel, where of course we have the great story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal. Had a wonderful time there. In fact, we got to sing a hymn, "Praise God from whom all blessings flow," in a small chapel there, and look out on the vast valley from Mount Carmel. We've also experienced extensively the Sea of Galilee. We've stayed 3 nights here in a hotel. We've gone out on the boat, and we've been out on the sea and considered the storms of life and God's care for us in them. This is one of the settings that suggested Jesus could have taught the Sermon on the Mount. Matthew 5-7, maybe the most famous of Jesus' sermons, certainly the most extensive. We know it most by the Beatitudes that sound this way: "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the peacemakers," right? You get the idea. So this is the locale, a setting similar to the one that Jesus would have taught the Sermon on the Mount on. It's beautiful in here. I wish you could smell the fragrance of the flowers. It's beautiful. Someday you will smell the fragrance of the flowers with me. Hint, hint. But just to continue to bring you into this trip and the experience. It was a couple of days ago we were up on Mount Arbel, which overlooks this whole region. We were able to look down on the Sea of Galilee. It was beautiful, and that's where Matt and Danny Miller shared in a renewal of their covenant wedding vows. It was beautiful. And then we were also just this morning in the Jordan River. The Jordan River feeds into the Sea of Galilee. Of course, then at the very south end of the Sea of Galilee, the Jordan River continues. But we were in the Jordan River this morning baptizing, I think 7 or 8 of us, as we commit to being Jesus' disciples. So beautiful things happening here. But here, Mount of Beatitudes. It was just a couple of days ago we were out on this hillside worshiping Jesus. Beautiful. Our trip has come to an end, or almost. I'm standing on the balcony of our hotel room here in Jerusalem. We've stayed for 1 night in Tel Aviv, for 3 nights in Tiberias on the Sea of Galilee, for 1 night at the Dead Sea, and now we've spent 4+ days here in Jerusalem. Our 10 days in the land is coming to a conclusion, and we've had a wonderful time. We've seen more than we could have imagined. We've learned a great deal from our teacher, Dr. Randy Smith. We're coming back with full hearts. But I want to ask you, we've already booked our trip for 2 years from now at this exact time. Would you begin to pray with me if the Lord would allow you the opportunity to come to this land and learn about the text that you consider holy, authoritative for your life? Would you join me, grow in your discipleship of Jesus, and have a wonderful experience? I really hope that you will. If you begin to prepare now, that trip may be very doable for you in 2 years. Thanks for letting us come. I'm excited to see you soon.